Good evening, good evening, good evening, great people. Y'all know what today is. It's Fat Tuesday up in this thing. And we got some of my favorites in the building. So, we finna get into this thing tonight. They already on the stage. Y'all can't see that because I ain't want y'all to see them yet. But we finna get into this thing. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Soon as I can find the thing. There we go. Hey, y'all. Everybody. What's good, y'all? How y'all feeling?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going
Hey,
on?
what's going on?
Everybody was muted.
Right.
Muted.
Everybody on mute.
Everybody was on mute. Okay. How y'all doing tonight? How is everybody?
This is dope. Thank
Fantastic.
this is dope. Thank y'all for having us.
I'm glad y'all feeling fantastic. Okay, Pablo with the merch.
Oh, that's dope. We gotta
Really
get
dope.
one of those.
Listen, I couldn't find your shirt, but guess where it's at, Pablo?
Where?
Right here on the table.
She gonna get it over
That's
to
what
you.
I was gonna put on. I was over here looking for it, and lo and behold, it's right here on the table. That tells y'all a little something about my life, but man, y'all business. Okay. Tonight, y'all, we are getting into the conversation with two of my favorites. Their podcast is called the Q Points Podcast. Listen, if you ever want to learn something about music or have some amazing insight, these are the people you want to get it from. You want to go tune in. They come on each and every Thursday at 8 p.m. It is always a stone cold groove. Okay, I'm gonna go old as hell on y'all.
Yeah, I like what you did there. I like that.
That was dope.
When I'm over there with them, I got to be on the show. Make sure y'all go check it out.
Yes.
But I got to be on the show with them at the end of the year, and it was their last show of the year, and I was beyond excited to participate with them in that whole conversation. We had a good time. I ain't gonna tell y'all what we was talking about neither, because y'all need to go find it. Okay, go look on their YouTube. Make sure you check out their website, all of the amazing things. But before I get ahead of myself, I'm your girl, Leo Rochelle, and welcome to another dope episode of the Fat Girl Chronicles, where we get all up in your business and discuss the topics that matter to us most each and every Tuesday. Right here, we is live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and we will be live on Instagram in a few seconds. Okay? So make sure you all, while you're on Instagram, type in Q Points, and that's QUEUE. Okay? So y'all make sure y'all spell it right. Not just QUE. Okay?
No, not that.
You spell it,
Yeah.
put it in Q.
Right.
QUEUE.
See, that's
There
what you got. That's what it is, Leo. You got to put it in Q. We
You gotta put it in Q, okay? QUEUE. Make sure you go check them out. They are some amazing guys. They have some really dope and insightful points of view when it comes to music. We got none other than Haitian Boy Moses in the building.
What's going on? What's going on?
Anisha, aka the Greatness Guru, up in this
Hey y'all.
tonight. Is it Pablo tonight? Who are you tonight? It's Pablo.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, it's Pablo tonight.
He doing other stuff right now. He ain't worried about me.
Okay, so he's not worried about you.
Yo,
Okay,
we're gonna put you in a straitjacket because I don't know.
we got Pablo in the building, and we got none other than Doc J up in this thing.
Hootie hoo.
What up, Doc?
I'm mad. He
Or
calls
is
himself
you
like some
Denzel?
stuff.
Which one is you tonight? Because I need to know that too. Which one are you tonight?
I'll be the sophisticated one from two for one happy hour. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the sophisticated.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Y'all not gonna believe
not
that
coming
it's
on here
gonna get
saying
into
hootie
the
hoo.
conversation. The more we talk, he's not gonna come out the sophisticated one. Okay, but thank
in
you
this
all
cup
for
tonight?
tuning in tonight. We finna get into this thing. We are talking tonight the Black Renaissance and hip hop at 50, art, culture, and revolution. And when I thought about this conversation, I had to have my favorite song here. I was like, they the ones for this conversation, because experiencing you guys in person, first of all, like brought joy to my life. Okay, when I met these guys in person, they were like super dope, super friendly, very conversational. You know how you meet people and sometimes you be like, okay, you ain't have to be rude. Like, they weren't those guys. They were. We sat and we talked and we talked and we talked. And I went from this way to talking to J. Ray, to talk this way, talking to Adrian, and was back and forth. And we had some of the best conversation that I have ever had about music, about life, about being Black, about HIV and AIDS awareness.
Yes.
We had all of these conversations in a bar. Okay,
Right.
That's some good shit. Okay,
That'd be the best place.
The best conversation. And it was at Afros and Audios.
That's right.
Not last year. That was what, 2 years ago?
2 years
2
ago.
years ago. Yep.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
No, real talk 3 years ago, because it was the one in Philadelphia. Yeah.
It was
That's
in Philly.
right.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. So 3 years ago, I met them in Philly at the Afros and Audio Podcast Festival. And it has been an absolute pleasure meeting them, getting to know them, watching their show grow, watching them grow, and actually being able to be a part of their show last year. And I could not go without having them on this show because they are everything Black music. You know, if you want to go over there and learn some stuff, go check them out. Even if you don't want to go learn some stuff, still go check them out. They remind me of the music version of Ubiquitous Blacks podcast. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you go check them out. But we're gonna get into this conversation tonight. Y'all ready?
Absolutely.
Y'all ready to talk?
Let's go.
I'm so excited. Okay. I'm trying to contain my excitement because it's Adrian and J. Ray. I'd be so excited to talk to them because I don't see them often. So when I do get to actually see their faces and talk with them, it's an absolute pleasure. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about celebrating creativity, like Black creativity. Because it is an ongoing, never-ending thing for us. Doc, we is not about to play this game with you tonight. And we're not about to play with you being creative right now. Put your face in this camera, sir.
You talking about me?
Yo, Pablo, he got you beat. He got you,
know what I'm saying?
He got you beat.
Lord.
He got you beat. Yeah, that's it.
That's not Black creativity right there. That's not the Black creativity we was talking about.
Hey, I had to go get my food, so she was standing there for me. It's my daughter's little headpiece. My bad.
Wow.
Anywho, we're talking about Black creativity and 50 years of hip hop. We recently
with the butter
lost Angie Stone, and by having a conversation with T-Ron of Ubiquitous Blacks podcast, I learned so much about her from him that I did not know, that I did not think that she was a part of. Yeah. She was a part of the first female hip hop group who actually kind of spearheaded a lot of the hip hop that we know today. Yeah. And I didn't even know that. I was like, what? Angie did what?
Yeah.
The first female hip hop group. She played a part in the song what was it? Apache.
Yes.
She sure did, and people did not know that.
Wrote and sang on the hook.
Yep.
Yes. And I didn't know
her due
she
for
had
that,
been in the game for so long. She had been in the game, I think he said, since she was like 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like 40 plus years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's why she always felt disrespected when she go places.
And she should have, because
she
they
got
never
it out the
gave her
mud.
her just due.
Yep.
You know,
I'm still
we don't talk about that on another show, because we know why she didn't get her just due.
We do.
What happened? I don't know. What happened?
I got a dark skinned friend that like Michael Jackson.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, let's not forget she was a little on the plus side of things.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about that, and make sure y'all check out that episode. Let's see.
And she was from Columbia, South Carolina. Everything,
he was a country
everything
girl.
hip hop was from New York, not South Carolina. So yes, so there was a lot of discrimination.
You have her. You know, the music industry is a difficult place, right? She was also in a really crappy deal with one of the biggest labels of the time, a pioneering label, right?
Yep.
It's just stacks of reasons why this didn't go down the way it should have went down. So,
yeah, and it was just so eye-opening. And that's why I love having conversations with people who know other shit. You know what I'm saying? Who know stuff that I don't know. Because I'd be totally enthralled. Talk to me about all the things that you love and that you know, because now I know something else.
Yes.
I geek out when people talk to me about the things that they love. And Ubiquitous Blacks is one of those people. Like, he's really big on music and movies. So we really have a lot of conversations about that. And so just learning all of that about her, but also learning a lot about the music industry overall. One of my favorite movies is Crush Groove. Like, that's one of my favorite movies. I watched it yesterday, actually, on Black Women's Day of Rest. Okay. So I watched that. And even just looking at that story, like, I know it's some bits and pieces of a real story, but even just looking at that for what it was, looking at how the music industry plays on our weaknesses, how the music industry really does divide and conquer in a lot of different ways.
Yes.
Yep.
So, and we're going to even talk about the exploitation of Black culture and things like that during Black Music Month. Come back, okay? And how they focus so hard on a bunch of non-factors when it comes to what we actually provide and what we bring to the table. So going back to the creativity part of things, Black people are always the trendsetters. We set the tone for everything. So what is y'all favorite
the blueprint
area or space to enter when it comes to Black creativity? I know y'all love music, but what's your other favorite spaces to, like, fully be in the rolling in the deep end of that creativity?
Well, I'll say J. Ray and I kind of touched on, we did touch on this during the last episode of Q Points when we celebrated the 30th anniversary of the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. And that discussion, 1995. And that brought up some side conversations about Black cinema.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the biggest entryway, biggest window into Black life and Black creativity is when you see yourself reflected on the big screen. So we were just reminiscing and talking about just the plethora of Black movies that came out in the 90s and gave us, like, we literally had a Black renaissance of movies in the 90s. And that was just, I think, one of my favorite ways of looking at Black culture and how it continues to evolve. And the latest installment of Black cinema that we have now recently is we celebrated the One of Those Days with Keke Palmer and SZA. So I think that's like the continuation now of what we came up with well, I'm not going to say everybody on here because I know y'all are probably the oldest one in here, but what we grew up with in the 90s, and then what the new generation is experiencing now with One of Those Days and with Issa Rae and all the things that she does. So that's what I love.
Yeah.
I loved One of Those Days. It felt like a girl's version of Friday to me.
Yeah,
that's a really good. And for us, it was interesting because we talked about this too. It made us feel like definitely Friday, but also reminded us a lot of House Party and like this kind of updated version of the buddy comedy.
Yeah.
And we did a show a couple of years ago with the White People Won't Save You pod, and we talked about House Party specifically.
The what pod?
The White People Won't Save You podcast. Shout out to them. Yo, Jordan and Cameron are doing it. That is
sure
a podcast. They talk about white savior films. Y'all need to go and check it out. These two brothers are killing the game. So yeah. Go check out the White People Won't Save You podcast.
Yeah.
So
I love the name.
That's a mouthful right there, though.
Yes. So but we talked about Jordan came over and talked about House Party with us, and we talked about kind of the updated version with the updated version of House Party, which came out in like 2023, and how it like really didn't work for us. But one of them days though was like, oh, because Jordan made this thing. He was like, yo, one of the changes they should have made was they should have made it to women and had them do the thing, right? To kind of update the formula. You know what I mean? So
I'm with you.
I'm just going to say this right now. There have been several times that things that have been said on Q Points have come to fruition. I'm just going to put that out there and just back away from the microphone. But yes, that was just one of the examples of things that have been said on Q Points podcast that has come to fruition. We absolutely did.
We kind of like the Black Simpsons. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, it's like, you'd be like, Q Point said that 5 years ago. And you'd be like, no. But real talk, I think picking up on Sir Daniel too, I, at first, when I was younger, it was music, of course, main entry point, then film in the 90s. And it's so interesting because now my entry point for like Black creativity is comics now. I am so into what's happening in that space and what Black folks are doing in that space. I checked out Kid Cudi's comic recently, and it's just such good stuff. And so that right now, that's where I'm at. Like, I really am interested in Black folks seeing ourselves beyond this sphere and what we look like in the future and what we imagine we looked like in the past and how these things converge. So I'm really feeling that in this moment. But yes, first music, then film, now comics.
Speaking of that real quick, J-Ray, did you all see Janelle Monáe appearing at BlurredCon, and she premiered her comic, her graphic novel, The ArchAndroid.
Okay,
so I'm super excited about seeing that because, you know, that album came out almost 10 years ago, right? And now she's got a graphic novel to accompany it, and seeing everybody in full cosplay. I love seeing that too. So co-sign on that, J-Ray. Black comics and anime is where it's at.
Yo, real quick.
No, go ahead, J-Ray.
Go ahead, real quick. Because that's so interesting that you mentioned that Janelle Monáe was doing that. Because Black women have been on the vanguard of that space. So, of course, we have Erica Alexander, who has been on the vanguard of that space. Legendary actor, of course, but also has been playing in that kind of comic book space for a minute. And then we have Dawn Richard, who has also been talking about, you know, Danity Kane was a character that she created, right? Also playing in that space. And I'm loving the stuff that she's doing with the Hip Hop Caucus and all of that. So Black women, when we talk about hip hop, when we talk about just kind of creativity as like the cauldron of creativity, we are also talking about the power of Black women and femmes and what they create. So
come on, talk about it. Talk about it. The one thing lately that I have really been diving into, and it has just expanded my mind when it comes to PGC, when it comes to fashion, I've been diving into different documentaries. And I don't know why, but they've just been kind of this little insight and giving me little tidbits of inspiration that's needed as I'm like trying to navigate different spaces, seeing where the podcast is going to go, where the media group is going to go, and then watching the documentaries. And it's just like, that's the piece that I was missing. That's what I didn't know that I needed to know when I needed to know it.
Oh yeah, I love a good doc. Love a good doc.
I do. I didn't. Between tapping into documentaries and getting back to reading lately, those two things for me have just been like my little piece of nerdy heaven, because I keep telling y'all about the books I be listening to while I'm out here driving the peoples around. And I have listened to Whoopi Goldberg, Viola Davis, Eve. I listened to somebody else. I listened to a couple of autobiographies, and they have been just like eye-opening to not just the struggles of certain people and Black women, but just to know these particular people's story. Because Whoopi talks about her journey with her brother and her mother, and it was just like so freaking cute. And I keep saying, like, her narration of her book is hilarious. So if you get to listen to it, definitely listen to it. But also Viola Davis, man, I was like, I should have listened to this at home or somewhere where I could have ugly cried in them moments where I needed to ugly cry, because I'm driving people trying to, and I know, like, I know she ain't crying. What is she crying for?
It's all right. I'm on a good
listen to this woman's story and fully engaged in what her life looked like before she became Viola Davis. And so the books, the documentaries, and always music. Music is always my thing. And even getting back into fashion. Fashion used to really be my thing. And at some point, as I started to grow and go through a whole bunch of life's shit, it's kind of pulled me away from it. And now I'm kind of making that turn around the block and ready to get back into that as well. So paying attention to some of the fashionistas, the plus girlies that's out here doing the things. And I'm like, I'm an auntie now, so I got to come with auntie chic, you know. I hit that 40 and I'm like, I want to come with that auntie chic with, you know, being real fly and whatnot. And so seeing that. And lastly, Black art. The way I have paid attention, there are so many different things that are coming up. The Black Boy Art Show, the Black Girl Art Show. Those shows are really super dope for you to be able to like access art in different areas from different artists. And they do it, I think they've been doing it for a couple of years now. But coming across different artists and things like that, I've been adding small pieces to my house. And so it's been an exciting journey, just pulling into these different spaces that I once used to absolutely love. Somewhere along the line got, you know, me and my babies got disconnected, and now we're back in love with each other. So I'm excited to see where all of the thoughts and creativity go from here with all of those things. But what about the rest of y'all? What are the spaces that y'all like to tap into when it comes to Black creativity and hip hop and all of that good stuff?
Me personally, I want to try to get into reading more. I suck at that. I can't read. I don't know, for some odd reason.
You can't read?
I can't read for a long period of time.
Hey, Fantasia.
You can't read.
He's about to have an
Ain't nothing
intervention.
wrong with that. Listen. I know a couple of
About to
people
have an
can't read.
intervention, Moses.
Yeah.
I mean, is you
No, I
being
can't
honest
keep
about it?
it
We was
going
gonna help you
for
out
a long
with that.
period of time. I think once I get to chapter 3, I'm done.
When I
So
see
have you tried to listen to a book?
That's
Huh?
it.
If you try audio,
Yep.
I'm telling you,
I-
audio is a totally different thing than you reading it. Like Leo said, it's like books right now that I'm listening to,
Yes.
and they're being read by the people that actually wrote the books. That's the best part about it. and to hear them say it, it's like, whoa. Like,
so I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that factor.
Try the audio, and I'm gonna tell you, I got like a notebook right now that I'm
also trying to get into
listening to them.
A little side note: if you got a library card, you can check out books with your library card online.
Yo,
you can check out audiobooks
for
with
free.
your library card.
Get your library card. It's the best free. We did a show on library. We had our brother Kelvin Watson from out in Vegas. He's the executive director of the library system out there. And he was like, yo, the best free thing that you can get is your library card. And Leo is right, because you can get the app and you can get the audiobooks for free. And yo, the other thing, Moses, too, is if you want to like level it up, definitely listen to it. But if you have time to sit with the book as they are saying it, it's next level. Like, it changes your comprehension so much. Like, you'll really be in it.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
Now, even if you got the library card,
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that.
If you already have Spotify gives you audiobooks for free.
Spotify got books for free?
Absolutely. Spotify got a whole bunch of stuff that people don't pay attention to. Yeah. Spotify has podcasts. Spotify has books. Spotify has music. Spotify has a whole bunch of stuff that people don't pay attention to.
Okay.
Because they think it's just music.
They think it's just music, and it's not.
Yeah.
And I listen to V103 through the computer. They have podcasts and audiobooks and it's all kind of places where you can get free audiobooks.
Mm-hmm. So check out those resources. Don't say we ain't never told y'all nothing, because we be telling y'all all the things. I'm echoing. I'm echoing. I don't know why. Let's see. Is that it? Yeah, that was it. Okay. Sorry. I'm still echoing.
You just muted.
Yeah, because it's echoing from somebody else. That's why I muted. Like, I'm like, somebody's making it echo. Can y'all hear the echo, or is it just me?
No, I hear it.
No, I hear it.
Oh, because it's you. Wait. Yeah, it's you. Refresh your thing, Moses. Refresh your situation, or go out and come back in. There we go. All right, there we go. Because I'm like, I know I'm echoing, and sorry, y'all. So outside of that, let's acknowledge hip hop's 50-year legacy. 50 years, y'all, that hip hop has been in the game, doing this thing and all of that good stuff. But first of all, let's talk about the legacy, and then we're going to talk about why the influence goes beyond music. Pablo, go ahead.
Me and Doc didn't say what black art.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all didn't see it. Y'all, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Moses started echoing, and we just started about me.
Okay, you right. You and Doc can go.
Go ahead, Doc.
Oh, I was gonna let you go ahead.
Oh, okay. Oh, movies, definitely movies. I love black film. Poetry, I love the story being told through the poetry, and black art is just the chef's kiss. Like, it's too legit. Like, the creativity of some of the things I've seen of just not normally just painting or sculpting is just amazing. So, yep, those are my three. And podcasting, of course, if it's done right, not the other stuff. But if it's done correctly, podcasting.
I mean, obviously you got music, you got podcasts, but I think for me, if you have TV shows, because it's not just one movie, it's not just one thing or one this or that, it's episode after episode after. I go to sleep, especially when I travel for work, I put Martin on Netflix. And I just, you know what? And I just sit there and I'm like, I can't even get to season 4. I go right back to season 1 because the first 3 seasons, those are the best seasons. So I just go back, let that thing roll. Hey, before they got married. When they got married, that's when it went south.
Martin is the
that's
lamb
when- I
chops
thought I
and
was the only
Alfredo
one who
of
did that too.
television.
With TV shows. So right now I'm like so stuck on TV shows and black art. And I think the reason why I'm so stuck into black art is because my cousin has an apparel line and he paints. And he paints live and he paints the dopest stuff that you would never do. When you look at it, you may see it as something, but I see it as something totally different. And he was like, cousin, it's my chill time. It's my time to get my creativity out of my mind and on the canvas. And it's the dopest thing ever.
I love it.
I need y'all to stop watching Martin. Okay.
Wow.
Martin
You don't like it?
Martin is literally the lamb chops of sitcoms at this point. Like, I'm tired of everybody watching Martin. Like, there's other sitcoms that came out.
What would you prefer us to watch, Pablo?
But they clap. Random spoons. I mean, anything.
But no.
Anything, man.
Because no. But
give Jamie Foxx some time, man. Give the Wayans some time, man.
The Wayans, they get
I mean, I do watch those shows, and I went through my binge of the Jamie Foxx show. I even went as far back as watching Different Strokes. I'm like, hey, you know what? I ain't seen Different Strokes from start to. How did they end up at this white man's house? I just came in right when they was already there. So it's times where I feel nostalgic, and I can say, you know what? All right, I'm getting tired of watching Random Spoons and Whitty Hutton. So I can do away with Martin for a while, and then I'll go and pull out, okay, let me go ahead and boom, there we go. All right,
I'm watching
cool.
Living Single this week. That's been my go-to.
Look,
show.
I'm an old school
San Francisco episode.
Which one?
You watched the Bicycle Shop episode?
Which you said the Bicycle Shop?
Yeah.
A very special episode.
That's right. That was like traumatic.
Very,
for me as a kid.
Seeing Dudley with his shirt off on
Dudley,
television was just like
too much.
I don't remember the episode.
You ain't seen that one?
Go back and watch it. You will remember it. You'll remember it when you see it.
When you see it, you ain't gonna never forget it.
Yeah, it was traumatic.
Willis got beat up for trying to defend Arnold.
Yep.
Those are the two most.
Well, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Episodes I ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Wow.
But real talk though, as it's it's interesting that we was just talking about TV, and of course we brought up Martin and the Wayans brothers and Jamie Foxx, and of course Living Single came up in the chat. These are all birthed from hip hop. Like all of those shows are literally birthed from hip hop, and it's just crazy how this thing that literally people was like, that's gonna pass. That's just gonna pass. Like people are gonna, not be doing that. I remember specifically, there's a radio station locally. Shout out to WDAS 105.3 in Philly. Where remember, we don't play rap. It was like a thing, like it was like a tagline in the 80s. Literally, it was a tagline in the 80s. They wanted to let you know we didn't play rap. Today they play rap because you just couldn't escape it.
It's a variation of rap, but yeah.
Right.
Did they play hip hop?
What we used to call rap. But not J. Ray is right. There, remember, the city of Washington D.C. wouldn't even allow performers to come through D.C. and perform rap publicly because it was banned. It was outlawed. But yeah, J. Ray is absolutely correct. Like the coinciding of hip hop and this renaissance of Black television, and let's not forget about the marriage of hip hop and comedy, because I know we all like the HBO Comedy Jam. We like Comic View. What's the show that Tracy Morgan and Monique was on, where they would just snap on each other? All of those came out of hip hop, or came as a reflection of what the culture of hip hop was. So, yeah, hip hop is truly given a lot to the rest of the culture. As far as here's my only gripe. The only thing about that whole year of celebrating, a lot of fun times and nostalgia came out of it, but a lot of backbiting came out of it as well. There's a lot of people who are so concerned about who did what first, and everybody wants their recognition, and it's caused a lot of animosity within the communities that are under the umbrella of hip hop. You know, we got a whole lot of infighting within the Black community now, and that's the only criticism I have about how hip hop was celebrated in 2024 to now, is that it's dug up all this animosity, and I don't know if it's a reflection of the administration that's down on Pennsylvania Avenue, but it's like things have gotten real kind of icky around here.
And I think a lot of it also has to do with Black culture kind of making it this thing where there can only be one, you know, one at a time, or one to do it, period. Yeah, you might have been the first, but, you know, I'm like the 15th, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Or you might be the first, and I'm the 100th, and that's okay too. But I think people hold on to that so tightly, like, I'm number one. Like, okay, we get it. But, you know, there doesn't mean that there isn't room for improvement or room for other people to do what you did. But also, don't act like you were the best just because you were the first. I think.
Didn't we talk about that during February, one of the episodes about, you know, as Black folks, we don't strive to lift each other up or give them the secret sauce of how we got to this point. And oh wait, if I show you, then I'm gonna lose out on my bank. I mean, I thought we brought that up, and that is true. It's like, you know,
we did.
Everybody gatekeeps.
That's what, exactly.
I'll give you the recipe.
And I don't even understand why we got to gatekeep at this point. I don't want you to go through the struggles that I went through in business at all. So I'm gonna give you the blueprint and show you. And look, if you got something that you can show me, I'm always willing to learn. The problem is, look, it's enough room at the table for all of us to eat. And the minute that we realize that we can all sit at the table and we can all eat together, collaboration is better than separation.
It is.
Some people don't.
I agree.
Some people are not even ready for that, yo. Some people are not ready for that.
That's because we're so stuck on I. If we get together and be
some people not ready for it. Those that are,
some people are.
Those that are ready for collaboration and all of those kind of things, just go on and do it, so other people can see the blueprint, so other people can see that it's possible to be done. Like, we don't have to wait for everybody to decide that we're gonna come together, because I mean, if we waiting on everybody, it ain't gonna get done. Just like a group trip, you know. You know,
we start out with 32 people.
Trip start in the chat. By the time
it's time to go, it's only 3 of us going because everybody else been backed out.
Right. Now, the only thing I do want us gatekeeping, and y'all, I don't care who knows this, but we need to start gatekeeping line dances, because I've seen a bunch of white people on TikTok doing the Tamia dance, and that needs to stop.
Wait,
Let's gatekeep our line dances.
Wait. I got one better for you, AJ. I saw them do the boots on the ground, and I almost died. I said, well, wait a minute.
Them doing this Kendrick Lamar entrance from the Super Bowl.
Offbeat.
Did you see?
My ass, because what are we even doing?
Did you see the bridal party? I almost threw my.
Party? Yeah.
Go look that up.
Was doing it?
Yeah, go look that up. Cause I almost threw my phone.
There was a bridal party that was doing that. I guess before she got dressed for the wedding. And baby, when I tell you, everybody just can't, like, you can't even laugh. You just gotta look like, now who told y'all to do this?
They look like non-Elon Musk robots.
Wow.
Go look it up.
It's a mess.
But there's so many of them, and I am constantly wondering, like, who told y'all to do this? Like,
but
also doing it to they not like us. Like,
but the whole thing is, but they're so afraid of us.
Listen, There you go, Anisha. Like,
They're
here's
so
the thing.
afraid of us.
Hold on.
But
Heard what Paul Mooney said.
they don't want actual us. It's
Heard what
just
Paul Mooney said.
They don't want us, right? But listen, let me tell you, and we said it at the beginning, like I think you said this, Leo, like you can't, everything that is dope about this country that we are in is because we did it first.
Exactly.
Like, there's like, you could just keep going down the line and like, yo, that's all us and our ingenuity. Because Leo, you said something in the intro that was really like tapping into this idea, like we just innovative. Like we're always going to be creative. It's in our DNA. And going back to you, Doc, that's the thing that people outside of our culture be wanting to learn. And what I've had to say to people is I'm like, you can't teach what's innate to you. You can show people how you did what you did, blah, blah, blah. That's why there was a sister, her name is Ronnie Nicole, amazing photographer, filmmaker, look her up. She said once in a conversation that people be so concerned about, not wanting to share their ideas because they think somebody can steal it. And she was like, nobody can do what you do because they're not you. Even if they do a version of this thing that is an idea, they can't do it like you would do it because they not you.
Yeah,
exactly. And exactly,
our football coach used to tell us that
somebody else stealing something from us. You're not stealing nothing. No, you took what I posted and put it on. Look, I want you to copyright me. I want you to do it. I want you to do it because when I did it, when you do it, it's not going to do the same thing, have the same effect on people as when I did it. So when you go ahead, by all means, have at it, but you never gonna get what I got and what people got from me when I said it. So it's totally different. It's two different things, but they don't want us. Look, they want our rhythm, but they don't want our blues.
That's right.
You can sample my food, but you ain't got the same seasoning.
I'm trying to tell you.
So Anisha,
salt and pepper don't cut.
We already know that.
But Anisha, you said something that brought something to my attention. It brings up the fact that a lot of us aren't careful with our gifts. And I really want us to be very mindful and intentional about protecting our intellectual property. I think and what we're seeing now is we were seeing that in some of the early days of content creation, like a lot of specifically Black women content creators were going viral, and then all of a sudden somebody that's not Black comes along and does the same exact thing and receives accolades, financial backing, contracts. It's wild. It's wild. You got the Hawk Tour girl who got a podcast deal and everything where you got people like us that are putting out quality content and putting in the work. But
don't get Leo started with the Hawk Tour girl. Don't get Leo started.
You know what I'm saying? You get caught on the street with a man on the street camera, and you say what you said in a drunken state, and now you're popular and you're rich. But now she wasn't even ready for all of that, and now it turned down everything. Whereas there's somebody out there putting in the work that could have benefited from that opportunity. So I want us to be more intentional about the business part of being creatives and taking our creative journeys further than just making it pretty and putting it on Instagram.
Yo, quick.
That actually happened though. Like I did a video on TikTok. I was just, like you said, we was out here just creating stuff. And the video said, folks be like, I want to support your business, but your stuff costs too much. And then at the end, I'd be like, well, if you broke, then just say that. Just say that. Because I ain't changing my price. And it was an old white lady doing it. And so many people
she was cooking
in the
too.
comments was talking about how I know that, they was giving her all of this praise. But they said I was ghetto. I was hood. I was all of these other things when I said it.
It's a story as old as time.
Yep.
And then now this old white lady over here saying it. And it was the other funny thing about that was that my brother saw it on somebody else's video. They were doing the voice and he sent it and he was like, why they sound like you? I said, because it is me. But
Wow.
it had become such a thing. Like even, you know, on other people's TikToks and all of that kind of stuff. So many people's, like you said, intellectual property have been snatched, you know, and used, and people out here making money off of it. And then you up here like, but that was me. So that's one of the things that I am intentionally learning about because we do what we do, you know. We do all of this podcast and we put all of our thoughts and all of these things out here to the world. And then what do we get in return? You know, we have dope, a dope audience. We have dope creatives and all of those kind of things. But we want to make sure that it's not nobody else out here just stealing our stuff, posting it on their pages or posting it on their platforms without our permission and all those kind of things. So, and stop inviting people to the barbecue.
They can't come.
They can't come because we don't got raisins in our potato salad.
Ain't enough
So
meat.
funny you say that. The man that created Taco Bell, I just saw the story today. The crunchy taco,
Yeah.
he got it from an old Mexican lady. She had like a little small business just chilling. He had a hamburger stand, but he was losing business because McDonald's had just opened up. So he went to her to get a taco. He said, "Oh, this is delicious." She handed him the recipe. Like, here you go. And that's how we got crunchy tacos for Taco Bell. And she still has, the family still runs a little small business.
Look, the Cheetos, the Flame Hot Cheetos came from a Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
Stop playing.
It's a whole movie.
I didn't know that.
It's
But
a
one
whole
quote
movie.
I wanted to say, since we were talking about, you know, people
And food
pretty
is
much
another black
imitating
art
us,
too.
Ooh, yeah.
is
Culinary.
imitation, and people never finish this quote. So let me just make sure y'all know that. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. That's where people ended at.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the whole quote. It is, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness.
Wow.
I never even
So-
knew that seriously.
That's because
That's
everybody
the
cut it
whole
off.
quote.
You never hear the whole thing.
You never hear the whole
they cut
quote.
it
That's-
off.
That's because a lot of people
Because
can't
I
say
don't think
mediocrity.
people realize
That part.
That's
say, Doc?
meteorological society.
Nah,
He said a lot of people can't
mediocre.
say
Yeah.
mediocrity. That's why they stop it
that's
there.
where mid comes from, Doc. They can't
That is
say
true.
it, so
That
they
is
say
true.
mid.
That's where mid comes from.
Because I'm like, what is you trying
Yo.
to say, Doc?
No,
No. See,
Somebody
he
slap him on the
wasn't-
back of the neck.
That
no,
is true.
Leo, he was saying you. He was like, a lot of people can't say.
Oh,
and that's
no.
true, though.
Yeah.
No, that's true though, Doc. A lot of people can't say that word, so that's why they cut it off. Like, wait, what?
That's the same reason why everybody can't sing the Negro National Anthem. They cut it off right at that part.
Oh my God.
Okay, all right, we're gonna go there. All right.
Okay, Doc, we're not gonna go there because look, I had that whole conversation with somebody that was like, "It's more to the song." I'm sorry,
Yes.
what?
Yes. There
It's
is.
absolutely more to the song, and I know because I had to learn it. The entire song.
And see, I didn't know that until at least college, because
No,
all throughout grade
knew it.
school, it was just that first verse.
The first,
That's all they put in the movies
That's
too.
all they put
That's all they put in the movies. They don't play the
Yep.
second verse in the movies.
They don't, and I kept saying it and my mama kept saying, "That's not the whole song, Nisha. What's the whole song?" Because I went to Marva Collins, and we had to learn the entire song.
Yep.
The entire song. And what y'all don't know is a lot of people don't know it's more to the Star Spangled Banner as well. There's more to that song, and they talking about us,
I live in Baltimore. I know.
and they talking about us. They just don't want y'all to hear the rest of that song.
They definitely do.
So, since we're talking about hip hop and the influence, and actually, I got a sign up here on my wall. It say Hip Hop Boulevard. I forget I had it up there until I just looked up there now. But
You don't say influence, you gotta say Kool Moe D.
what's your favorite hip hop era? And like, how did it impact you, like growing up?
Ooh, probably the 80s.
J-Ray, you do the boo.
Era?
I was talking. So the reason why I had to mute myself is because I be having my thoughts.
Oh, you be thinking out loud,
in the mic, and so I just got it out. But Sir Daniel, I saw you come off of mute. I'll let you go first, and then I'll hop in. I think I'm changing my mind because you said as we were growing up. I think I know what I'm gonna do. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So my favorite era falls squarely in the golden era, but like specifically between 88 and 1990. There was just like a sweet spot of hardcore, kind of really basic hip-hop beats and braggadocious rhymes, but then people started experimenting with samples. Then we also got a taste of New Jack Swing. So there was all of this is a buffet of different flavors of hip-hop, the style of dress, the dancing. You had to be in shape back then, or you would get in shape.
I'm mad that you just said that.
It would get you in shape. We talked all that mess about MC Hammer, but we were all quiet as kept.
Okay.
We were at home in front of that floor model television, doing the Running Man and wearing a whole lot in our mama's carpet, trying to imitate Hammer and 357, trying to do those moves. But that was just like, that's why that era has like a sweet spot for me. And it just informed me as it was the beginning of me wanting to DJ, and informed me developing an ear for different types of music, because like I said, when samples came along, we were forced. We were like, oh, when we found out about sample clearance games, it was like, oh, I need to know where this sample came from. So I could be knowledgeable and say, oh, I know where that sample came from. And so your ear gets developed. And so that's why that era became so important to me. But it was just also fun. And I think fun is the one element that is missing today. I see a lot of what they call now YNs who they're not even 14 yet, and they don't have any joy behind their eyes, and it's so sad to me. It disheartens the hell out of me. And they're not curious about anything that happened before they were born, and it just, I don't know, that it saddens me, because I remember at that age, during that era, being so full of light and life and curiosity and wanting to have fun. And so that's why that era holds such a dear place in my heart, because I don't see that reflected in the youth today.
Yeah. Oh, first of all, you took me back. You took Marty Marr back.
Grand opening, grand closing.
Okay. Because you couldn't tell my sister that she wasn't the girl that be singing with Hammer. Okay.
Yeah. BNGB.
You couldn't tell my sister that she wasn't her. Okay, but also Hammer. Oh, I had the doll. I watched the cartoon. We had the cereal.
I don't think he gets a lot of respect, though.
He does not.
He does not get a lot of respect.
And he should. Like, all of this mess that these people are doing today, Hammer was doing it in 1990, and we called him a sellout for it. Literally, he is the blueprint for like all of this stuff that everybody is doing today, and we gave him hell for it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm more shocked about Hammer being a gangster than him being Hammer.
Moses,
I found out how gangster Hammer was.
Hammer was serious.
I saw something a couple weeks ago to what you're talking about how much he will roll up on somebody and have his thugs do it. I'm like, huh?
I heard they said Hammer was the type of person. Wait a minute, he rolled up on Naughty by. Wait a minute, he had one big hip hop group locked
I know you're talking about. Yeah. I can't remember who it was. That's probably the same thing I looked at.
Yeah,
he's from East Oakland. Where do you thought was coming? What you thought was about to happen?
Right?
Hey, we looking at the glasses and the hammer pants.
But how
The glasses and the hammer pants.
Yeah.
And they kept talking about how he was taking care of so many people.
Yeah, exactly.
His whole
He
neighborhood.
was taking care of the whole gang.
He would have been rich. Hammer would be
Rich
so rich today.
taking care of all of
We're
that.
not thinking about East Oakland. We're just thinking about.
No. I guess
No,
I'm outside too
I'm
much.
not even
Because to
talking
me,
about East
Hammer look like a
Oakland.
drug dealer.
I'm talking about
Hammer
how
look like a
much
drug
people
dealer.
he
If you
took
look
care
at
of.
Hammer, how he dressed,
Exactly.
that's
He
how
was a
drug
drug
dealers
dealer. He
dress.
did it all.
But you gotta understand.
Hey, sir, I was in there, so I said no to drugs. So I
Exactly.
You watch New Jack City, right?
Guess
Yeah.
what?
It's so funny
Nino
you said
Brown
that.
dressed like Hammer.
It's funny you said that because there was like 3 sets of rappers, and they were all influenced by different figures in the hood. Like you said, there were rappers that like Ice-T, Hammer, that reflected the Pimps and the Macs. Then you had the dope dealers that wore the Dapper Dans and the fat rope chains, and then you had the other ones that were the up and coming 5%ers and whatnot. So it was just a reflection of what was, the different images that we had in the hood.
I don't think he gets a lot of respect. I think for real, he definitely needs to be on some, like, he needs to be up there on, hip hop.
So what's your era, Moses?
Because
you from that side, so I want to know your era.
That era that you guys got. You gotta understand, I'm Haitian, so my mom didn't even allow hip hop in the house until I was of a certain age.
So you didn't hear hip hop till like 2002, okay?
No. Stop there.
So that's Cash Money.
Stop there. Like I said, my first cassette was MC Hammer. My mother allowed MC Hammer.
Cool.
That was my very first tape. But like I said, that's why it kind of like, now that I grew up and I got to hear all the behind the scenes about MC, it shocked the crap out of me. Like when he did Rumps in the Bumps, I was like, what is going on here?
We didn't even get a chance to get the for real Hammer, like Death Row era Hammer. Like it just didn't happen. That would have been so interesting to hear, but we didn't get it. Real. But
my era, like I have to say, like I said, like my era actually started around the New Jack Swing era. So like I was just listening to Bobby Brown. I was just in that vibe of understanding who else? New Edition. You know what I mean? Then we had to go slide down within. I was living in New York, so now we had to deal with the Jay-Z's, the intro of the Biggie Smalls, Junior Mafia, like that's like, all of that. That's where my intro to hip hop was. So I started. That's where I fell in love with hip hop around that era. So that whole mesh after the golden era, which I call the golden era, I'm after the golden era.
Okay.
Technically speaking.
So my era, I'm gonna move it a little bit. I'm with you, 88, but I'm gonna slide it up to about 94 when that Nas first album dropped.
Exactly.
Around that time, that's the era for me, because that was around middle school going into high school. So but my favorite, the most fun I ever had was the crunk era. Like,
wow.
I got playlists on
good
times
times
right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was where hip hop went to the club. Like, it was a whole different era. Like, we literally went to the club, and it was a whole sea change.
It's so funny because we're all here, but everybody here remembers a specific hip hop era that happened to them that really changed everything. Like for me, it was the big Jay-Z and Nas battle.
See, me, it was Onyx, Wu-Tang,
but
Tribe Called Quest.
No, but you see, I was in New York. That really didn't shape New York like that.
Yeah, I get it.
And Nas did.
Yeah.
That shut down everything. People's on a radio like this.
Because you can't, you got to have one. That's the whole conversation. You got to have one.
You had to have one. But when you listen to people's era, they'll be like, nah, I didn't like that beef. I'd rather go to the LLs and
Cool Mo D.
Mo D the one. That's
the only thing about it is I have to go back to that to listen to that.
Okay, we got to talk about that. That's very interesting.
I have to go back to
I have a picture of me getting ready for school, and my mom say pose. I'm like,
Listen, I don't think a black boy ever, from that time does not have.
We all got one.
We all
got one.
Monique.
Y'all all got
Monique.
one. Okay.
Yo,
The prison pose.
hilarious. So that pose is multi-generational. So Sir Daniel and I, when we were in Atlanta, remember we were in Atlanta in October. Our youngest fan had never met us in person. His name is Ellison. He was at the event because his dad, shout out to Dr. Ed Garnes, he's been on the show. And he was like, that's Q Points. He was like, oh, he gave us a big hug, but he wanted to take a picture with us. And, you know, so we posing and he like immediately goes. And I'm like,
It was
9.
instant.
He's 9.
We all fell into it instantly. No coaching, nothing. We all just got together.
I
Yep.
love it.
Wow, I love it.
Yo, but to that point of eras, so it's interesting. I like so many eras, but I think my absolute life-changing, ear-changing era is actually the backpack era, because the backpack era is what birthed. First of all, the Roots kind of come out of the end of the golden era, right? But they're in their sweet spot in like 99 into like 2000. Like everything is great. And then Dilla arrives and Common is making his classic records and Q-Tip is doing crazy stuff with the production and da-da-da. So the backpack era, I mean, it birthed old Kanye, which he denounces today. But all of that comes out of that backpack era of like
old Kanye.
Yeah, it's like the old Kanye comes out of that era, and it's like it's the best of both worlds. It's kind of like a little bit of golden era, it's a little bit of boom bap, but it's refined because now they grew. So these are the cats that grew up on Tribe, right? So they grew up learning how to sample, like Sir Daniel was talking about, and they chopping these things crazy now. So I think that era is the era. There are so many records that came out between like 99 and like 2002 that are like classics in my thing. So I think that's the era of hip hop that I most gravitate to.
But like nobody can tell me anything bad about Dilla. I promise you. I will fight somebody over Dilla.
You just kind of can't. Like that brother, like the stuff he would be doing today would be
insane.
But we know what it would sound like, because if you play LL's new record that Q-Tip produced, that's what Dilla would be doing today. I was like, oh, Tip is doing what Dilla would be doing at this moment. Like it's a continuation. Like it's like he was like, I know what my brother would be doing right now. Like he would be doing this.
Look, so Sir Dan, you said that everybody pretty much had to be in shape because of the dance or whatever with hip hop. My biggest look, the 80s was my year, but my boy was Heavy D. You couldn't tell.
Legends.
Heavy D. Look, I was an NWA girl. I was an NWA. I was EPMD. I was Cool Mo D. I was Rob Bass. But when Hev came,
it was the light skin, right?
Look,
it was the light skin.
It had nothing to do with the light skin, baby. He was a heavy boy. That did it.
Okay.
Fly.
8 counts.
It was fly.
8 counts. He was gonna dance.
That's what I was about to say. He was
did
moving.
all of it. Splits. Oh, I said, God. Well,
I used to practice his steps.
Heavy D could dance his ass off, though. I'm not gonna lie.
You couldn't tell me shit about Heavy D. You can go have a conversation with somebody.
Heavy D was that guy.
That's just what
he became in the back office. He became that guy.
He was such an important figure.
He was
in the evolution of hip hop. So he was one of those ones that bridged the gap, right? Between hip hop culture, like real hip hop culture, and to Sir Daniel's point, like commercial hip hop. And so he had respect on both sides.
Absolutely.
And we talk about this all the time. Cats don't dance today. Like they don't dance. Big Daddy Kane was out here doing full choreography.
Big Daddy Kane is still dancing in his 60s.
I don't even understand.
With a fedora on, it's not moving. The fedora is not going anywhere.
No, they don't dance. They just they got
everybody
people
slow dance.
Everybody knew Muggy
grind. They don't do
slow dance.
They do nothing.
No, they turn
That's
around.
what
They
their
booty on
problem
people.
is. That's what their problem is.
If they
They
grind a little
don't know
bit, they'll
what
be
it's
all right.
like to sneak and dance with somebody while your parents got their back turned, because you ain't supposed to be slow grinding on nobody anyway.
Yeah.
But we over here in this little corner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
For
gonna get that
real,
work.
it's that intimacy, Leo, that we miss it. It's that intimacy, like that.
Listen, I grew up in the Midwest, so house music, like, oh man, house music was our shit back then. The house mixtapes, oh, and so parties, that's all we did was house each other up. Like you didn't have a choice. And then when we started going to the clubs in my early 20s, that's what we was doing too. We at the club housing each other up. We all in each other's face. You didn't care. Listen, percolating, holding each other up so you can twerk on this boy and your friend in front of you, so you won't fall forward and his friend behind him, so he won't fall backwards. Like, they don't know nothing about it. And so even with that, like even with that era of, because I don't know,
hip house was really important.
Y'all got me over here just like my brain is exploding with
I was
ideas
just talking
right
about
now.
this like 2 days ago. Like, we used to go to the club. We didn't care. We walked out sweaty, hair messed up. Like you look like something happened to you when you came out that club.
You had a good time.
You be dirty because you didn't got on the flow.
Right. Now people mad because you get some stuff on their shoes.
It's no longer a
What you talking about?
Right, you walking out with the tail in your hand.
Your scrunchie right here.
Now it's a problem.
Your scrunchie is right here because dude got
Stamps
behind
all
you and
smeared.
put his
You don't
hand in your head and handed you your scrunchie afterwards, and was no need for it to go back on.
Yep.
But also, like you said, the intimacy. These kids don't know nothing about slow dancing. The music does not promote that kind of closeness, that kind of emotion and feelings and all of that kind of stuff, because we live in a society where you can't catch no feelings. Right. Shit, you shitting me. I'm gonna catch my feelings. I might, be in the corner flicking the light switch after I done caught them. But that's my fault. But they don't have the intimacy. They don't have real connections anymore. Everything is social media. Everything is texting. If you a grown person and say you don't like talking on the phone, I question how grown you really are, because what? Like,
talking on the
baby,
phone.
I'm 40. I am not about to text you all day. I am not that girl. Do not text me all day.
So that's why you be ignoring my texts.
Sometimes, probably. But I am not that girl. Don't text me all day.
No,
and I tell them too. I tell the whole team, call me.
Yeah,
you can call me anytime.
Leo, I would love to share with the crew. You brought up slow dancing. It just so happens that this Saturday, I'm spinning at this event. There's a sister here in Atlanta. Her name is Whitney. She has a production company called Audio Gumbo. For the past 5 years, this sister has created a space called Slow Drag Atlanta, where it's an evening of nothing but 70s soul, and you come there to dance. We play a little up tempo, but it's a lot of slow drag music from the 70s. It's blue lights. They change out all the lights and turn them blue.
Come on, blue light.
And she's toured. I think aside from Atlanta, they've taken the party to New Orleans as well. But it's called Slow Drag. .co is the website. I could put it in the chat.
But that's why I need to talk to y'all more, because I need to get outside, and
it's once a month.
I drive.
And did you say you're spinning this Saturday?
This Saturday, it's once a month, and I'm gonna be spinning this Saturday along with DJ Brixler here in Atlanta. And it's a time. I want you to, if you go to their Instagram page, they'll show there's pictures of people literally touching. And her tagline is that I wanted to create a space to celebrate Black intimacy.
Come on,
and that's what what you're describing is a lack of intimacy amongst each other. I heard somebody say this week, I think it's a young man, I think it's a Grits and Eggs podcast. Can't remember his name, but he was talking about the one thing that is going to save us as a people is love. And as hokey as it sounds, there's got to be, if we're not able to love on each other, if we can love each other, we can have empathy for each other, then we'll have a harder time harming each other. And that's the real deal. That's the real revolution right there. J. Ray has, if you go to his to J. Ray's work, his photography page, he had a fantastic sweatshirt that he was printing up back in the days called Black Men Loving Black Men is the Real Revolution.
Come on.
As brothers, if we don't love on each other seriously, that we're going to miss out on that empathy and not be able to see each other as human beings.
Can I get
and going back to Martin, when Martin got sick and Tommy and Cole didn't want to rub that vapor rub on his chest, he said, "We don't love on each other."
I love how we got that back to Martin.
I'm telling you, it was going to come back around.
To rub Vicks on a brother's chest.
But
that is
lamb chops. That's all that was. Lamb chops.
That is so true, because like even when it comes down to like even female relationships are so disconnected now, and it'll be like, damn, is everything a competition? Is everything where it has to be disconnected? And then everybody be talking about protecting their peace.
Y'all can't even go get your hair done without getting into fights.
You just a shitty person who don't know how to self-regulate and don't know how to control your emotions. So therefore, you always want to talk about protecting your goddamn peace. Actually, you don't even have internal peace. You just don't like dealing with your chaos on the external. But that's neither here nor there.
They locked that lady up.
What'd you say?
The one that dragged the 15-year-old, they locked her up?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You can't even go get your hair done in peace, because Black women are constantly. I have to block a lot of content on like my X and my Twitter feeds and whatnot. These fights. Yeah. It's like, what is it? It's like on site, literally, for a generation of girls. It's not even the boys. It's a generation of girls now that
love. They ain't dancing no more.
Oh, Sharkeisha started that.
They ain't dancing no more.
Because they see the older generation of women, they don't even exhibit that love to the younger generation of women. They don't. It's not a consistent thing. So there's a disconnect between the Black older women and the younger women, and then the women my age and the older women. There's a disconnect. So they're not getting that love, that compassion, that empathy, that big sister, auntie kind of love.
Because y'all
so
don't
they think that's how they're supposed to respond to everything, because their mama's out here doing the same thing.
What you talking about?
Because you don't wear stockings anymore.
But it's a lot of
and you don't wear a slip anymore, Leo.
Right,
that's why you're too fast.
When the mama and daughter are fighting for the same dude, there's a problem.
Woo! No, it's a problem because first of all, the mama ain't too much older than the daughter. Because they had to go together. Let's get that clear. The secondly thing is that this generation is not afraid of anything, and they think that they know everything, so they don't want to hear us talk about anything. But then what you need to do is understand is that if you sit at the table with your elders, you will learn a whole lot more, and you will learn how to get through without having to do what you do. And it's a competition, and it's like the girls are stronger than the dudes at some point. Like, what went on in your house? Like, why are you fighting like this all the time? And every time I had to stop a little girl the other day. Hold on. First of all, check your mouth. Who you talking to? Because I'm not your mama. I'll knock you clean out. Now
they don't get hugged no more.
I was just about to say, and
is it something that you want? They don't get the discipline and stuff at the house. What is going on, and why are you acting like this? And it
got knocked the hell out in a while
about something totally different.
Until I
got in the face and said, "Hey, first of all, check your mouth."
Yeah.
But
check
it's
your
also
mouth.
how we go about correcting one another. Like we don't even have a way to correct each other where it is not intentionally, where we are not intentionally embarrassing one another because we're trying to correct each other. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't correct. Back in the day, you used to pull somebody to the side and be like, "Hey, whisper." Back in the day, the older ladies used to whisper in your ear and tell you a few things.
Yeah.
Now,
baby girl, is your monthly on?
Listen.
and that is true, like Doc said.
Nowadays, it's like, who funky in here?
Out loud. It's not the conversation. It's not the conversation that they no longer they want to have with anybody anymore. We just talked about this at church. Well, you used to get a whooping at the end of your whooping. Your mom used to say, "I only did that because I love you." Mm-hmm. I'm correcting you because I love you, and I don't want you to go that route. Now they know everything, and you too busy trying to be your kid's friend. I'm not your friend.
That's wait, Anisha, which whooping was that though? Because by the time you got home, that was number 3.
That was right. You used to get away with everybody coming down the block when you acted a fool. They already told you.
My mom and dad would already know. They would already know what was happening because Mr. Butler across the street already said, "Well, here's what he was doing." On the block.
But and then the lady that had the candy store at the corner, she stopped selling candy and whipped your butt and told you get to that house and talk to your mama.
At the same time.
She's selling candy and whooping you at the same time. Get to the house where your mom at, because your mama looking for you. Already called her.
And bring her a change.
Right. You don't got no more OGs no more. Nobody want to be an OG.
Wait.
Nobody want to be an OG no more.
No, but I think, Moses, you're right there. Like, this conversation is, I think, really important. And I think, so the reason why hip hop as a culture became what it became, right, is because embedded within that golden era was all of these lessons we talking about, right? So you actually had these MCs spitting from an experience that they were having, right? Or an experience that, we had in the culture. So I could listen to a song that came from LA. I could listen to a song that came from Oakland. I could listen to a song that came from Houston. I could listen to a song that came from Atlanta. I could listen to a song that came from Philly. And I was hearing the through line of who Black people were. Right? And I could realize, like, oh snap, like, nah, this is a continuum. Like, I'm part of this bigger thing. I truly, truly believe that once we got to that point of money being the main thing in that early, God bless thou who shall not be named, right? But as we got into that era, which we are in now, we talked about that on the show, 95 starts the era where thou who shall not be named really did reshape, kind of masterfully, because there's a lot of great music that came out, but reshaped how we saw and experienced hip hop, right? Once that happened, there were things later that got left behind. And I do think this is all of it. Like, all of this stuff that we're talking about, all of these lessons that you could go back and listen to so many songs and you like, yo, Cube was spitting. You know what I'm saying? Cube just helped me get through this. As problematic as he is then and in 2025, he helped me get through.
Because No Vaseline used to help me get to work in the mornings. Now,
I wrote a story about No Vaseline. Oh my God!
How did that help you get to work in the morning?
I'll publish my No Vaseline story one day.
Listen, that No Vaseline was.
Can we really talk about though, like how the raunchiest music can also be our calming point? Like,
yes, that's
you know what I'm saying? Like, my favorite song to listen to in traffic is 8 Ball and MJG Smooth Arm Robbery.
Yeah.
I ain't robbed nobody ever in life, but that song gonna help me get from the east side to the west side in about 15 minutes. And
With your paper gun.
But Leo, here's the thing. That was the beauty of hip hop at that point, right? Because they didn't either. They were storytelling. I tell the story when I first heard Mr. Scarface is Back. Y'all go play Mr. Scarface is Back today. That song came out in like 1992. It is the most ridiculous song when you listen to it. Mr. Scarface is basically just kind of telling the story of how he murdered all of these people. And it's like, it's brilliant, right? But it's theater. And I knew it was theater because he can't possibly do that. Because guess what? He'd be in prison.
For sure.
It was storytelling, and then hip hop, right? At some point, you had to be real in a way that was really unhealthy, right?
Okay,
new generation changed that. No, this new generation changed that.
I want a whole space
for hip hop was fake.
It was not the new generation who decided that we had to be real in a way that was super dangerous. It wasn't them.
It was 93.
Yeah, them early 90s period.
Yeah,
that's what I was about to say. They started sprinkling it in, but then it got to a point where it was like,
yep,
this is scary.
Yes,
very scary. But Haitian Boy mentioned a group that I think we need to hold space for. We got to hold space for Two Live Crew.
Shout out to
because
Shout out to them.
Listen, I spent some formidable years, a year and a half in St. Petersburg, Florida. And so I understand the culture of bass music, and it's very tribal. It's very motherland at the very core of it, the beats and the way it affects your body. Yes, it gave us it led to strip club culture and whatnot, but
ain't nothing wrong with that.
There's room for it. There is a place for it. Yes,
and we wouldn't have Trick Daddy without it either.
No, we wouldn't have gotten Trick. We wouldn't have gotten Trina.
I didn't even get to my list. Look, I didn't even get to my list. And I was gonna walk y'all through some story time, but since you brought it up, DJ, I said
Slick Vic and Jam Pony Express, like all of that is call and response. All of those are just extensions of hip hop and the diaspora. So we got to hold space for them as well.
Yeah, a good call and response that'll get you platinum. A good call and response get you platinum quick.
So Doc, you said you're gonna walk us through. You're gonna walk us through.
So I was listening to everybody air, and I got stuck on, a period in the ages. I said, nah, when did it really hit for me? So I had to write it down and lay out my storyboard right here.
Old, okay, he about to go back to 78.
Nah. Believe it or not, the one that popped my cherry, my gateway rap drug, was the Cash Money era.
Oh wow!
The Cash Money era.
Oh wow!
That got me into rap. But hold on, stay like Ocho Cinco say, stay with me now. So that then took me to, because I had to figure out they just didn't just create rap. Where did this come from? So then that took me in the tracksuit, Kango, Big Chain era. Took me back there. I said, okay, I see where it's going. And I said, now where is it going now that I'm older? I'm in the clubs, because I started going to the clubs. And I'm like, man, this music. So then that took me to Club, Dirty South, because I'm in the South, I'm in Florida. Trick, 95 South, Too Short, ATL, Tampa Tony. DJ, I know you heard of Tampa Tony. So I said anything that would cause me to just be like, man, let me just, all right. And then whatever dance incorporated with that song, that's where rap took me. And then I was able to go back through the timeline like I'm an Avenger and look at the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. And I think that's how hip hop for me, I can listen to any rap music. The one I still struggle with, and don't y'all judge me, Pablo and everybody else from up north, is like Nas and Jay-Z. I still struggle with that because I'm raised in the South, born in the South. So
I know a lot of Southern brothers that's like, I don't like all of that. And I get it. It's just the style is so different. I get it.
Right. Yeah. But that was my journey. That was my journey. So it took me through a lot of levels.
I love
Jay is the greatest rapper to walk. He walks on water when he gets in the booth. Okay, do not do that.
Who?
Jay-Z, don't do that.
I'm gonna agree to a point, but like I said,
Negro, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree.
Hove is a living legend. I'm gonna tell you why.
Negro, please.
Everybody want to be Hove, and Hove's still alive.
First of all,
I'm not gonna get into this. Okay, I got no. We got
Did you say everybody want to be Hove?
And Hove's still alive.
Everybody don't want to be Hove.
So can we kind of segue to how this music that we're talking about, how even though we really do love hip hop and we love the upbeat and all of that other kind of stuff, but hip hop also at one point was all about activism, was about Black power, was about talking about how beautiful the Black woman is. One of my favorite songs is "You're My Sister, Lover, and Friend." Listen, because yes, you got to respect yourself before I can. I don't even know where I heard that song at first, but when I say that was one of my, I used to be like, the hell? But also Self-Destruction, Queen Latifah, her whole era, and we don't give her enough credit either when it comes to making sure that Black women had an understanding of their power and who they were in that time frame. And then it became hypersexual, and it's like then you saw sprinkles of people still trying to pull back that activism or that Black power-esque kind of music. And like now we hear it, but then everybody combats it now. It's like, oh, this nigga trying to be too deep. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, but we need that. We need both sides of the coin, because we also need to know that there is still real things going on. There is still realness happening. And he may not be considered hip hop, but Anderson .Paak is a good storyteller.
He's very hip hop.
Yeah. Okay. You know, I don't know what people be considering the genres now. You know, everybody be that ain't hip hop.
He gonna rap and he gonna sing. He gonna play them drums and play all that stuff. He
gonna do all the things. But he is very good about making sure that stories are told in a way that you be like, is he trying to teach me something? Because you can't really tell until you really listen to the song. And that's what he's doing. He's really taking the time to teach us some things. But music as activism has always been a thing, especially hip hop, because we needed to know.
But I think what's happened, Leo, is that for one, we've lost our balance. What the main thing about what you're talking about is balance, and there is none. And the reason why we've lost balance, we're living in a world of extremism. Everything is extreme. It's either extremely poor, extremely rich, extremely violent, extremely sexual. There's no in between, right?
No middle ground.
And so I think part of the reason why conscious music was important and was popular is because everybody at that point was still striving for something. Like we had like a large population of young people, Gen Xers, going off to college, specifically HBCUs, because they saw the Cosby Show. They saw and they heard music saying education is the way to get out and to lift yourself up and lift your community up. But then along the lines, I do believe that there was a correlation between people starting to make money and becoming more visible. Yep. And then you get the hip hop cops.
Yep.
And all those people on the outside who want to regulate what's happening in the community. And they're like, oh, wait a minute. Y'all are making too much money now. Some people are actually on the verge of changing, giving their family generational wealth and spreading that in the community. And so there's not going to be any more have-nots. That's going to throw everything off for the powers that be, because the only way that they can exist is if there's somebody under their thumb, if there's somebody that's not as rich as them or doesn't have as many advantages of them. So that's why, like J. Ray was saying, that's where we have He Who Shall Not Be Named come in and show you all this opulence, but then you can't necessarily get that unless take that. Maybe I get the I'll take that the Ski Mask way, which was one of his artists. So, and then when you do that, then you have these crack laws in effect that put people behind bars for a lot more time than some white boy, some college frat boy that has a gram of cocaine. So all of it is very intentional. And they go hand in hand. And that's why we're not hearing what you're talking about, Leo, is we're not getting that anymore. The balance is completely off, but there's a reason why they wanted the balance off.
I'm dying to hear what folks think of this, but I echo everything that Sir Daniel just said. And we'd still be making conscious rap if it was profitable. Like if people bought it, people would do it because they want to make money off of it. And this is a controversial statement. I don't know if I've ever said this on Q Points. It's probably the first time I've said this. My controversial statement is it was kind of all a ruse anyway. Like everybody in those early years of hip hop was trying to figure out what worked, right?
I get you.
They was all trying to figure out what worked. The reason why Public Enemy worked is because they started marketing Public Enemy like a rock act. Literally, they marketed Public Enemy to white audiences as a rock act. Public Enemy was marketed to white audiences as a rock act because they knew that they could sell that there. So if that's true, now the message was real. I mean, I've always talked about, I learned about my history from those artists. So yes, Chuck and Flav and Chris at KRS-One, they were all really doing it and really believing in what they were saying. But the business of hip hop had a different agenda. Like, I gotta sell it. How do I sell this to people? How do I sell it so I can make money off of it? So I think that what changed, in addition to all those things that Sir Daniel talked about, what changed is when people aren't able to sell a thing for whatever reason. If we still had a demand for conscious Black hip hop and we was going and we was going platinum off of that, they'd be making it all day.
And I think I absolutely agree with if we had an audience for it, or if we had a demand for it, that it would sell. I think now, to me, the irritation with some of the music is just like, bro, Black people do other things than just hunching. Black people do more than just hunching. Can we just stop making hunching, cheating, drinking, partying? We do other things.
Tell Future
so can we talk about that? And then it's like hip hop don't even talk about that no more. And those things, when it comes to the other things that we do, it is buried somewhere in a neo soul song that nobody is really listening to. And it is really teaching you about what love really is, or what it feels like, or what your heart. These people don't even know what it's like to have your heart broken and to sit with that feeling of being heartbroken. Because everybody, again, can't show no emotions or no feelings in this era or this day and age. And it's like, dang, y'all don't remember. I mean, like, y'all don't.
You can't tell nobody they ashy.
Feeling, y'all don't understand those emotions. Y'all don't want to emote at all. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't wait to have a good cry. You know what I'm saying? I'll be looking forward to those opportunities where I can be in touch with myself and emote and all of those things. But this generation, they like, I don't want to do none of that. If it ain't making me feel good, if it ain't about me trying to get some money, because that's what social media has become too. It has become a place where people are faking everything. Me and Pablo laughed so hard the other night about this girl creating content. She recorded herself recording herself, okay? She went and recorded, so she got out the car, set up her camera, on a tripod and pulled into the parking spot. She got out and set the camera on the other side, backed out and pulled into the parking spot. She set her camera inside of her grocery cart and dropped the pizza inside of the grocery cart so she could have this angle for her content. Set the camera inside of the freezer, close the freezer to walk past, open the door. I was like,
baby.
Throw some music behind
them. Hats off to them for doing that kind where they do all those different shots. The people that run in the store, set up the camera, then go back out and walk in like
baby,
there's not a camera there.
My phone be gone when I get back in there.
I just don't have that kind of time. I just don't have that kind of time. But I think what you're like really tapping into, Leo, is everything has become about commerce. Like everything. There was a brother, this is also hip-hop related. Drez the Beatnik, shout out to Drez. He's from Philly, but he lives in Atlanta. Just an amazing stage commander, right? If you ever get to see Drez work the stage, it's brilliant. He said one night, so I was at the Apache, the old Apache one night, and there were a lot of people, including me, recording the moment because a moment was about to happen. A moment was happening. And Drez freestyled, and I felt like he was talking to me. He said, his rhyme was basically, yo, y'all need to put the phones down because you're about to miss this moment that's about to happen. Don't record it. Because if you record it, you won't experience it.
You won't be in the moment. You can't be in the moment trying to record the moment.
If I'm not working, and Sir Daniel will tell you, if I'm not working, my camera's not with me. Because I used to take my camera everywhere. I was always taking a picture. Oh, J-Ray, photographer, whatever. People literally associated me with my camera, so I stopped bringing it. Because I'm like, I'm not experiencing the thing I paid money to experience because I'm trying to capture a photo of it. Bro, listen to the music. Have your time. So I think that's the thing, is like everything is about commerce. And so even just like all of it, hip hop so much in our 50 years, my God, all of the things that we've accomplished. And the question, and there's a lot to show for it. But there's also been a lot of harm done. And I think a lot of that just has to do with the fact that like everybody's trying to make a buck.
And then again, going back to what we talked about initially, because nobody wants to share the sauce. Everybody wants to be the only sauce. Like there's more than one ketchup out here. Like everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody
some ketchup nasty though.
Some niggas can be barbecue.
But there's only one Heinz 57.
Sometimes you could be a little jerk sauce, you know, like we all could be the sauce. We can just be different sauces. So I don't get it, you know, and that even when it comes to a lot of different areas, when it comes to creativity and all those kind of things, like I live in a city where I just be like, I just want to go somewhere else and network because let me not go that route. I'm going to
go to Atlanta.
Stay focused. Let me stay focused. Because that's a whole nother rabbit hole that I can go down. But some of my favorite moments when it came to music, especially hip hop, they take me back to my younger years. Like being in the hood, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm from. I'm from Gary. Being at home in the hood, experiencing, especially in the summertime and hip hop, oh my God, it did something different because you experience the everybody outside in the streets, everybody, you know, the people outside grilling, all of the things that made a Black neighborhood a neighborhood. You got to experience that. You got to see the dudes riding down the streets in they 6'4s with the rims, or they sitting outside washing and cleaning their cars. All of those things is what takes me back. But one song in particular, Explosive by Dr. Dre, was that summertime song one year for my brother and his friend. And baby, when I say we couldn't go nowhere without it being played, and I was just like, it took that song to this day. Soon as I hear, I get excited because it takes me back to that time. So what's a song for y'all that takes you back to a very specific time frame? Like that Dr. Dre song, like Explosive, takes me back to a very specific time frame. Other songs that take me back to very specific time frames are like my mama's music. But in regards to hip hop, and let me say, the Lil Jon, Snap Your Fingers, the Young Bloods, presidential shit. You know, that era of music takes me back to my 20s when I was outside 6 days a week, maybe 7.
But so yes, you're absolutely right. I think, and just to kind of piggyback on what you just said, I think it was that Nate Dogg solo. That's what pushed Explosive over the top, was him harmonizing with himself towards the end. That, I think that's what made that song. So definitely, I agree with you on that. But as far as songs that just take me somewhere, it's two of them, then they're very opposites. One is Summertime by Dougie Fresh. I know everybody knows about Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince's Summertime, but Dougie Fresh, and thank you, and the Get Fresh crew had a summertime jam that whenever I hear that, it takes me right back to block parties in New York City.
Ooh.
Now, my next song is a complete opposite, and it reminds me of Black people and congregating, but it's Scrub the Ground by Splat Pack. Because by that time I was here in Atlanta, and I got to witness Freaknik firsthand. And so when I hear Scrub the Ground and when I hear it come in, I'm automatically transported to tennis squirts, K-Swiss, Reebok Classics, Cross Colors, Damaged Suits, the used jeans, all of that. I'm transported to a time and a place. And I don't think the documentary couldn't really encapsulate the feeling of Freaknik, but Scrub the Ground, if you were there and you hear that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you know, you know.
Doc, get your friend.
Look, I saw it, but I was hoping you wasn't gonna see it. So
those are jams. Those are jams.
They are.
Those are jams.
They are. Yeah.
They are jams, and they're important.
They are, but if you know this person who is,
you gotta. I don't think those are his songs. I think he just. I would say, since I'm already off mute, there's a whole lot of songs, and I'm thinking like, man, when is it? When I think the start of a song for me, I'm like, dang, what in the world? Okay, I see where we going with it. Some Cut.
Okay.
If y'all don't know what that is, it started off with the big squeaking. Yep. And you like, what in the world? Okay. And then that thing, that beat come in, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh snap, that one, and then Take It to the House by Trick Daddy.
Come on,
because when that thing come in, because it mixes in some of the old school with the new stuff. That's what I'm talking about.
In the Sunshine Band.
Anything that can add in a good beat when you start off and they ain't say nothing, that's for me.
Yeah, I got a few too. First thing off the top of my head is I Need Love. I used to remember we was on a baseball team, we'd be on the back of the bus, and you had to know the song. If you didn't know the song, you had to go to the front of the bus. Then when Moe Dee came out, Wild Wild West, I was like, this is my life, right? This is who I want to be when I grow up. I promise you.
I hope not Will Smith version.
Stonewashed jeans and cowboy boots.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My mama would not buy me no cowboy boots.
On 29th Street.
Yeah. And then the first time I heard Tribe changed my entire life. That changed my entire life.
Which Tribe song? For me, it's Footsteps.
Okay. Yeah, man. See, that's like picking your favorite kid. That's how I feel about Tribe. Like anything comes, I'm like, because Fife was just like everybody loved Q-Tip, but I was a Fife fan forever. Like 5 foot freak. You know what I mean? Like and then of course then Jay-Z came, and that's when I was in high school. So yeah, but people don't know this. I wanted to be Mace. I swear I wanted to be Mace.
Classic. Like, Mace is a legendary MC.
Yeah, but Jay-Z came, and I didn't want to be Mace no more.
You really love Jay-Z?
You really love this song, don't you?
No.
Yeah, I've been a fan of Jay-Z since '95.
I'm not. No, you see, the funny thing is, I like Jay-Z, but I never wanted to be Jay-Z. I'm not gonna hold you. I felt I was in that New York era. He did run New York, but
and
I feel like Nas
they always thought Jay was on top. Jay was the underdog.
DMX humbled him.
So
I forgot about DMX. DMX humbled him.
In '95, Jay was the underdog. Like no one knew who Jay was.
That's not true.
Nobody wanted to sign him.
True.
That's true. I was there. How you gonna tell me?
When was Jay underdog?
'95.
No, he was
97.
He was
on Priority Records. Yeah, that was.
When he was on Priority Records, I'm talking about when he moved, like when he re-released everything over the Def
You're
Jam?
talking 99.
Well, yeah. So what's interesting is Reasonable Doubt. If you go back and look, it truly was an independent record. Like Jay's, it's so much interesting stuff if you go back and look at the history of Reasonable Doubt, because it wasn't like a sure thing. Like it wasn't a hit at first. One, he needed Foxy Brown on that record.
He did.
Shout out to Foxy Brown, because they all of them dudes, Nas too, they all needed Foxy Brown at some point.
Wait a minute, the Firm?
Oh my God.
AZ?
They needed her.
About. Y'all missing intricate people.
They still needed Foxy.
But they needed Foxy. They needed her. She was a really important ingredient to that moment in time. Like it was really important. It's her and Kim, like it was so imperative that those two people
they balanced out a lot.
They balanced all of them dudes out. Like and if you go back and play a lot of them joints that they was on, like still you play Who Shot Ya, and like Foxy's verse is sick. Like they needed her. But going back to Jay, I think it's really important that, and Jay knew this too, it was not a sure bet. Biggie was still the biggest thing going at the time.
It really was.
So Jay was like, who is this? You know, he was up and coming.
Jay needed Big. He needed Big L. All of those people.
Oh my God, I forgot about
all of them. Put Jay on. Hell, Jazzo. Jazz put Jay-Z on Hawaiian Sophie back in '88. Jay-Z was tagging along. He was tagging along.
Yeah,
Kane put him
on.
He wasn't.
What we see him now, he wasn't that then.
He was a student. He was a student
Shout
of
out
the
to
game.
Annie. If it wasn't for Annie, you wouldn't know who Hove is.
Yeah, I mean,
and I've been a fan.
No, he's a legend. He's an absolute legend. Like
I've been a fan.
444, I think, is one of the most important hip hop records to ever exist. It's like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by Kendrick, and like 444 are like really important records for like Black men and mental health and Black men in hip hop talking about their stories.
And
like I definitely put 444 and Mr. Morale by Kendrick up there as like, these are
not a lot of people records. Not a lot of people see it that way. With the 444 album, you gotta be really into music to understand 444.
Yeah.
Well, think about when 444 came out. You're living in Drake and Future's world.
Yep.
And that's what you're programmed to listen and to love and to feel and to even pattern not you specifically, but even pattern yourself after and become a lover boy, become an F boy, and become
a drug user. Basically,
all of that stuff. And to me, that's when everything changed, when the beats got super slow and everybody to coincide with your scissor use. That's when I was like, this just feels
it's the funny thing.
It got
Future made drug using music without using drugs.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
He told a story.
Yeah.
He said I don't drink that stuff.
Talking about telling the story.
Yeah, he said I don't take that stuff. And he told people I don't take that stuff.
But and then that's also, but again, we'll talk about that in June. But it's also a problem that's the route you go in order to tell this story or to sell this music to people who then look to you and start doing the things that you talk about in your music, not necessarily that being your lifestyle. And that's an issue.
It is. And
good dope sell itself.
Right.
You ain't gotta take it. Good dope sell itself.
And we can tell story and that's the thing, right? I think that is where I think we've lost the importance of letting people know people know in on the imagination of it all, the storytelling of it all. You know what I mean? And I think we've missed out on that as we've grown into this culture. Like, it's like, no, we're just telling stories and it's okay. Like, this is not real. And real talk, I also had parents that let me know what was real and what was not. That could, so I knew what people was doing and what they wasn't doing because I had good sense, because I had parents who was like telling me what was up. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do want to answer your question too about a period of time song, and it's actually related. It has a tribe relation because it's the same era. But interestingly enough, shout out to the Bay Area, but Follow For Now by Sway and King Tech, which is probably their best known song. Of course, Sway is a legend in hip hop. You know what I mean? He is and people don't realize, like, no, he was actually an MC who released a really important song. But that song, of course, has, rest in peace to Roy Ayers, has a Roy Ayers sample in it. Right. And that song right there, I remember late nights watching Pump It Up, which is where I first heard Tribe Called Quest. You know what I mean? Shout out to Sister D Barnes. Once again, Black women pioneering again. You know what I mean? So all of these things, but that moment in time puts me back 11 o'clock on a Saturday. I'm a kid and my aunt is watching me. And I'm watching on Fox, I'm watching Sister D play all of these songs. And one of them was Follow For Now by Sway and King Tech. And the way they put that sample together, that Roy Ayers sample in that joint, crazy. Takes me back to that time.
Oh, that's so good. And since you mentioned sampling again, I was going to say this earlier, but that is my favoriteest thing to do. Is to hear a song and I'd be like, wait, that's from something else. I know that song. Where's that from? And so I started building a playlist. Like when I found the original song and then the other songs that are sampled from that song. And I was like, ooh, and I've done it so many times. And I'd be like, you are never mind. Because some people don't get it. And I'd be like, oh, this that. Just like October London's song now, She Keeps Calling Me. And I'll be like, oh my God, y'all don't even know where this song came from. Because, and I'll be trying to tell somebody and they don't get it. They don't be getting the correlation of the sampling and all of that. And I'll be like, man, I be needing dorks around me or people that really nerd out over shit like that. And I'd be so tickled because I be nerding out over the most random things.
No, but Leo, this is really important. And especially because we're talking about hip hop at 50. What connected us to our parents and to our ancestors was sampling.
Mhm.
The fact that they don't do it, one, is financial, right? The businesses that's putting out the music don't want to pay for the samples, right? And that's a problem. So
Or you can be like Drake and just take it.
Ooh, shade. So yes, we absolutely need, I think sampling is really important. I think it connects young music listeners to their history. I've heard young people say, I don't like songs with samples, and I'm like, that's so sad. That's so sad.
Be specific. That was a young white man, young white boy.
No, not that one. No, this is a black dude. Oh, him too. But I ain't thinking about him. But,
but it also makes you realize like how certain parts of music can transfer across time. Like what? Because damn, what is the song? Like Everybody Loves the Sunshine, like Roy Ayers. Like that song has been sampled in so many different ways, and every time I hear it being sampled, it is never like a bad, sample of that song. It fits perfectly. It gives a groove, like, oh, and then the way we hear certain things. Mm-hmm. I'm a big audio person. Like that's why I like talking on the phone. That's how I learn people. I tell them that all the time. That's how I learn people. Nigga, I need to hear your voice.
And that's why I text.
Because you can lie to me. You can lie to me in a text message. No, I need you to call me. Call me so I can hear you. Because you're telling me you good in this text, and I feel like you lying. My intuition is telling me you lying, so call me, or I'm gonna call you. Okay? But just listening and hearing all of the music and how all of these different genres come together, but also how hip hop has impacted all of them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we listen to, whether it's old or new, like all of this shit is impacted by hip hop. Like we said, music, movies, art, books. Like, let's not even talk about how hip hop created this whole era of erotica books, you know what I'm saying, and things like that, because that's a big influence. And I don't know about y'all, but I know I was reading The Coldest Winter Ever, and that had a lot to do with a lot of what hip hop was talking about at that time. So all of the great shit that we attribute to Blacks and creativity and all of the dope music that we listen to, baby, it goes right back to hip hop. And I just want to thank y'all for coming on here.
Yeah.
Having this conversation.
Y'all so dope.
Between some of the shit you and Daniel said and Doc and Pablo, I'm finna go write some shit down because I feel like I got some work to do. This is why I love talking to people, but also why I don't like talking to people, because why you got my creativity going. Because now I got something else I'm supposed to be doing, and I ain't even asked for this.
Leo, my son's been sitting here the whole time, and he's a DJ, and he's been agreeing the entire way here. Like,
yo, that's dope.
Yeah.
And see, that's important. That's important that you have your son
intergenerational.
That's exactly what J. Ray was talking about. Have your son there having this, listening to these conversations. That's important. That's the only way that the history is passed down, and the feeling.
Yeah.
Not just the history, but the feeling that goes along with it. It's super important. Super, super important.
Yeah, when he first started, he used to ask me about samples and what song is what. And now he's just amazing. So
that's what's up. Shout out to you. Shout out to you for that. Absolutely.
I love those kind of things. I'm pretty sure my nephew's somewhere sneaking watching because he's supposed to be in the bed. But I again love Q Points podcast because y'all see how much information and how much knowledge base they brought to us, and we only been out here 2 hours. Just think of all of the shows that they've had, and all of the discussions they've had. They've talked about Anita Baker. They talk about so many people. And I usually go back and just, catch little tidbits and clips and all those kind of things because one, for support, but also the knowledge base. We can't say that the information is not out there if we're not going to go look for it. So go look for the stuff that you want to know about, what you want to learn about. And like I said, I want to tap in more with you guys because y'all be doing some stuff. And I want to be doing
doing some stuff.
Listen, I want to be doing some more stuff because y'all be outside. And so I'm gonna be traveling soon. I'm coming to see y'all. Forget all of that. But make sure y'all check them out. Thank y'all so much for joining us. I'm gonna have y'all back probably during Black Music Month because we got some conversations to be had during Black Music Month.
Yep.
And I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about those things, or even just coming and kicking it with the squad every blue moon when y'all have the opportunity to. Make sure y'all check them out on Tuesday. I'm lying. On Thursday at 8:00. They go live.
We won't be live this Thursday. We're actually taking off this week. Life stuff is happening in the Johnny Life thing. In fact, that's what I'm going to handle right after I'm done here. I'm seeing like a gajillion texts coming in, but not this week, but definitely we'll be back live next week.
Next week. They'll be back live next week. So make sure you prepare yourselves, put your calendars and all of that good stuff together so that you guys can tune in.
Subscribe so you can get those notifications. Absolutely.
Yes. And go check them out. You guys can tell the people how to connect with you all. We're going to start with Sir Daniel.
Well, you can find me everywhere at DJ Sir Daniel. But if you want to check out Q Points, please go to our website, qpoints.com, and you can see the spelling under our names, but it is QUEUE points.com, and that's our website. But we're everywhere. We're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, Blue Sky, everywhere. LinkedIn. I mean, you can find us everywhere because we want everybody to have access to us and find us where iTunes, all of that. Everywhere. Yeah. But J-Ray, you have your way of telling people how to find us is.
I'm not gonna do my fancy Q point sign off.
Why y'all got the man doing this on the website?
Oh yeah, that's Ellison.
Why y'all got the man doing this?
Ellison. Yep.
So J-Ray is the name. Y'all can find me everywhere. J-Ray is the name. But so hit me up in all the socials. If you Google that, you can find me there. But and even if you type it in .com, it'll redirect you to like the Johnny website. But yeah, just grateful for y'all. Y'all are so dope. Like I am. Leo knows this, but I'm gonna just say to all of y'all, like every time I hop on and I'm able to tune in live, I be in it. I be up there in the chat because I have thoughts. And so it's nice to actually be on stage with y'all and just like chilling with y'all because the work y'all are doing is really, really, really important. So just keep going.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the reminder. Because we all know how to easily could be like, you know what? I quit. I quit
twice today.
Listen. Make sure y'all check them out. Make sure you check out SMG, and thank you, SMG, for allowing us to stream this on your platform over there. But make sure you check out Pablo and all of his 1,000,001 shows that he got going on over there on SMG.
My son working on something. 1,000,002.
See, 1,000,002 shows. And then make sure you check out the aunties. We coming back this Friday. PGC After Dark. We got some special surprises coming along the way. And speaking of surprises, y'all, it is getting real in the field. We are now, let's see, we got 2 more episodes to go before our 200th episode on April 1st. Listen, we ending out the month. We got 2 really dope topics to discuss. as we round out the month of March. We are talking about the body positivity paradox, the hypocrisy of, sorry, I tapped it too soon, the hypocrisy of loving and losing, because the mess that I have seen when it comes to talking about plus women and their bodies and losing weight and all of this other good stuff is insane. But also the policing of Black women's bodies, the music and entertainment industry double standards. So we're gonna talk about it, y'all. We tap into these conversations. You know, this is the Fat Girl Chronicles, but we're gonna tap into all of the conversations, like we always say, where we get all up in your business and discuss the topics that matter to us most, okay? Each and every Tuesday. But also, man, 200 episodes, y'all. I am so excited, so ecstatic. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to celebrate this milestone. Because not only 200 episodes, but also we are coming up on 6 years, May 16th, for the Fat Girl Chronicles as a brand. Next month, April, it'll be 10 years though, when I started the Fat Girl Chronicles in general. You know what I'm saying? When I started the journey to the Fat Girl Chronicles, 6 years as an official brand. It'll be 5 years in September for the relaunch of the podcast, 3 years in June for PGC After Dark. We've been knocking shit back for real, okay? So hold on to your edges, because if you think we just getting started, baby, you ain't seen nothing yet, okay? So let me get into this real quick for you, and then we gonna get up out of here, all right? Episodes, y'all. We are on our way. Okay.
Congratulations.
And we absolutely could not do this without you all tuning in, watching, commenting, sharing, liking, subscribing, all of that. And while y'all here, make sure y'all go subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we are on our way to 1K. And we cannot get there without y'all. So make sure y'all share all of the good things. I got so much more to say, but I'm gonna wait, because we got some really great episodes coming up. I just want to continue to say thank you to all of you all who find it not robbery to join us here on Tuesdays, who come and allow us to invade your ear space, your living room space, your vehicle space, or wherever you tune into the Fat Girl Chronicles. I just want to say thank you. Thank you again to our really dope ass guests, J. Ray and DJ Sir Daniel. Thank you to the team for being here. Miss Nisha, the greatness guru, Pablo, Haitian boy Moses, and none other than Doc J up in this thing. And sending a shout out to our two that are missing tonight, none other than the Mouth and Coach Ayla, aka Coach Coco. We miss y'all, And we finna get about this thing, y'all.
Brought the wig out.
He ain't finna put it on, so we ain't worried about that. But we finna get up out of here. Make sure y'all tune in and join us next week. You know what I'm saying? And the Fat Girl Chronicles, it is not just a podcast, it's a movement. Join us next week, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time for another amazing show. And y'all know what I say, whatever you do for the rest of the evening and the rest of the week, don't do it with your half-ass, y'all. Do it with your whole ass. We about this thing. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all.
That's not enough ass. Not enough ass.
Where we at without y'all. Love y'all. Peace.
Peace, one love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mo.
You gotta do it with your whole ass.